Hi there. Today is Sunday, July 23rd, 2023, and this is our Creative Week with your host, Jennifer Vanderbeek, scrapsoflife.com. How are you doing? How's your week been? Has it been a creative one or no? Things have been very hot, very sticky, and that, for me at least, does not lend towards a lot of energy during the day for high level creative things. When I say high level creative things, I mean, you know, real intricate things I have to really focus on. For me, I have noticed over the past few years that that's become a really difficult issue I've had to deal with because during the summer I just get so tired so quickly because of the heat, because of the long days, and yeah, brain does not want to focus. Okay, I make do. Um, Sometimes during the day is a great time. Well, I mean, like on my Mondays where it's my turn, the week that it's my turn to cook, I'll do my meal preps, and that's creativity in and of itself. Being in the kitchen, even if you're following someone else's recipe, you don't have to be creating something from scratch or creating something from your own head just to have it be creative. You're still creating meals. You're creating sustenance for yourself or your loved ones, or both, or both, either however it works. So that's still creative. That's still creating. Um, and so, own that. Sometimes I will be able to kind of like motivate myself into working on some more physical tasks. And though it's really hot, sometimes I can get like an hour or two, maybe, if I put on some music, I can kind of work through some of the lethargy and or I think torpor. Isn't that a word that kind of goes along? Yeah, I think so. But anyway, um, but yeah, I kind of work through that a little bit and get some like physically demanding tasks done that don't require a lot of decision making, or anything like that. This week, though, I admit, it's been yeah, there were some naps. There was a little of this, a little of that, but at the same time, okay with that. The ongoing knitting project is um, building with lace doll. You can see I finished the second of this eighth section. I have one more repeat to go, and then it'll be time to move on to the final section before the adding the borders or the edges. So I did not make as much time for knitting this week as I have done. Otherwise, I might have gotten that third repeat started, if not did. But that's just how time worked out. Something else I did was sculpt yet another polar bear head. Wow, that there's a lot of glare on him. He's not even shiny, but that's not really picking him up real well, is it? But anyway, yes, this is the third polar bear head I have sculpted for, not to displace things, for my polar bear soft sculpture. And I don't have his neck stock fitted exactly. This time it came out a little bit too big. But I'd rather deal with a slightly bobblehead looking situation than do this one more time. It's been an adventure, and I will start with the heads from here on out. Um, at least I hope I remember to do that. Anyway, I ended up when I made the first head for this sculpture, I realized it was smaller than it needed to be, so I took in the seams on his body, and even that still didn't make the proportions work. So went back and redid the head. Wasn't big enough. Redid the head again. It was too big, so I ended up letting out those seams, and then having to do a little bit of repair work in some parts. He still hasn't been beaded. His final decorations aren't in yet. And of course, his he's held in his pose by hair ties. Just again because I don't want to fix him in position until I'm 100% done. But yeah, so this much happened. He still needs a paint job, and then to be finally assembled. I've also started work. I've also started work on the base. It'll be a tiered base in the same crazy quilted style for him. And I've also cut one out or cut the base ears out for the giraffe sculpture, Gerald. Um, yeah, so he's going to get a new base too. Um, and we're just moving forward with that. I've had a lot of ideas occur to me on some other works that I want to do. I started tracing the continents from the globe that I am redoing in that same crazy quilted style. And yeah, so I'm moving forward with those ideas. Oh, goodness. Not a lot of writing this week. I did review first couple of chapters because again, I've been going to this Tallahassee writers group, and we have a mechanism where we can put up pages for feedback from others. So I just wanted to make sure. I mean, I'm not editing. It's just making sure that there's not some glaring errors I need to fix, and to be specific about what I want the feedback on. That's very important. Um, Sometimes if you just say, okay, here it is, give me your feedback, well, everybody, people are going to take that differently. Some people are going to do like heavy edits. Some people are going to have questions about this, that, or whatever. So if and that's fine if you're open to all of that, but sometimes you just want, does this make sense coming into a series in book 5, for instance? Like, am I giving you too much information, not enough information? I do like to have that kind of feedback. In fact, I look for a new beta, at least one new beta reader each book who hasn't read the first however many, so that we can get somewhere with that. I can get that feedback of, oh, okay, this makes sense, or I never got a sense of whatever. Some other things that I worked on this week that are creative or creative adjacent, which is just as important, especially for me and in my second career, you know, second half of my life here. Um, so I'd messed up my sewing machine, and I don't remember if I mentioned this last week or not. But I'd messed up my sewing machine, going over too many layers of linen. The needle bent. It was hitting the strike or the presser foot. Anyway, it threw something or some combination of things out of whack, because then when I went to stitch the next thing, or actually went to finish those after replacing the needle, yeah, it wasn't making stitches. It was not looping the threads. It was not, it wasn't doing the things that the sewing machine needs to do in order to be a sewing machine. I mean, I guess it was a sewing machine, but it wasn't functioning. Anyway, so I kind of stressed about that a little bit, and then I'm like, oh, huh. It's like, all right, well, we don't have a local sewing machine repair anymore. That shop closed. And I'm like, I know there's places in Tallahassee, so it's not the big deal, but it's like, is this something I can fix? So I did some research. I did some YouTube watching. I did some reading of articles. I got in there with a screwdriver, and I checked tensions. I replaced the needle again. I repositioned the needle bar. I unscrewed the hatch of the gears for the bobbin timing thing, and played with that set screw. Ultimately, I think I did whatever I did. I undid it and redid it, and anyway, it's working again. Cross fingers. I stitched several lines, different, zigzag and straight, to make sure that everything seemed to be working. All the stitches were holding. Okay, we're good. And I have a little bit better working knowledge of my sewing machine. Would I be able to fix it if, say, that something went wrong with the motor? No. Well, at least not yet. May I never have to deal with that. Yes, I did just knock on wood. But in the meantime, I was thinking, gosh, repairs, services, that's going to be X amount of dollars. I don't know that I really won't have that in my budget right now. Would it be worth it to see if there's a used I could buy? to get me through, provide. This was before I got it to work again. So I was scrolling through Craigslist for the two main cities near me, Facebook Marketplace, eBay even. I mean, I was looking um, all over the place, at any place I could think of to hunt for a used machine that wouldn't cost very much. Again, far less than a repair would have been had I had to take it in. And I actually did find one and contacted the seller through Facebook, and it took a few days. But Friday, I went and I picked up a new to me. Again, it's a sewing machine. It's an older machine, probably from the 80s. Mine is from the 70s, so we're like 10, 15 years apart. But it appears to be in working order. I have plugged it in, and the button, the needle is moving. All of the parts, the tensioners and everything seem, doing what they're supposed to do. I looked up the manual online to verify how to thread it because it's a little different than mine, but not a whole bunch. And yeah, so now I have a backup machine. And with the amount of sewing tasks and items I have on my list to do, I'm thinking that that's just a good idea in general. So yeah, not only do I have the sculptures, but I have that leather that I got in, and I want to be able to do fun things with that. And while yes, hand sewing can be done, um, I would actually prefer to be able to machine sew it because it's arguably could be neater, more regular, and straighter. But we'll be practicing on little bits before I like you know risk that. And then I'm also working on another dress, or well, not another dress. I haven't made a dress for myself in ages, but I am working on a dress for myself after having done that skirt recently. I'm like, yeah, no, no, no. I want to do more of that. So yeah, I want to do more sewing for myself. I even got out my old Lutterlow book and ruler that I had taken the class at Joanne's years ago. I mean, like we're talking late 90s probably. And the copyright date year on this one is in Roman numerals, and I never remember the higher ones, so I haven't figured that out. But yeah, so I even pulled out one. This These are the patterns. You use them. I think I might have shown you the drafted home ones that I used for sports um, about a month or two ago. Anyway, you have this little diagram and the numbers and stuff, and you line your ruler up and you draft it based on your size at those points, and it makes your pattern so you can resize them as needed. And I love them because they take up very little space. They're very versatile, and it just kind of gives you a hand in the process as opposed to having the big fold out patterns, which, as you know, I would prefer to use as backgrounds for my paintings and so forth. Eh, it's life. It's what I do. So yeah, so that's what's all going on with me. I am really, as much as like logically I want to be working on book 5 more. I mean, I would have loved to have gotten the draft done this month. I don't think that's gonna happen because I'm only on chapter like 5 or 6 or 7, somewhere in there. Yeah, no, no, no. We still got a ways to go. But as much as I would like to do that, logically, my heart and my hands and everything else in me, emotionally, I want to be working on the physical thing. There's reasons for that. Um, Reasons that I don't want to get into far, but I do want to get a couple more pieces in this body of work, this overarching of wildlife and conservation and and how we affect them. Um, I want to more things done so that I can start putting together, say, proposals and stuff. Yeah, but more on that another time after I have a little bit more to go on myself. But I had a really good conversation with someone in the position to help with that, and this week very encouraging, and so yeah, I really want to work on getting that together. So I'm probably going to be doing more of the physical art rather than the writing for the next couple of weeks, I imagine. now that I have my sewing machine fixed, and it'll be easier to do the base piecing for the bits that I need to do. Whew, that's going to make it a lot easier. Knock on wood. All right, so that's me. What have you been up to? I would love to hear about it. I would love to be able to cheer you on, or commiserate when things, invariably don't go as planned. You can either leave comments down below the video, or you can check out our Discord, the Big Pink House, and we can continue the conversation there if you'd prefer. The link is in the description box below, and either way, thank you so much for watching, and I appreciate you so much. Have a great creative week ahead of yourself. Make time to fill that creative well, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.